Evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Evening, Mike.
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 Yes, evening. Welcome, welcome. Yes, before we commence with the lesson for today, because we are going to be correcting the 2026 March question paper, before I commence with that, to those people that have not joined our paper 4 lessons, for today's recording, if you want today's recording, this is where you will find it. If you want today's recording, meanwhile, before we start with class, you can just go like this page here, Simplified Academy and Co. If you have not joined us for class, if you want to access the document that I will be drafting today, and if you want to access this recording for the class of today, go to this Facebook page here, Simplified Academy and Co. And just like the page, you will also get some other memorandums there and some other materials that will be shared along. Okay, my name is Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this lesson. Simplified Academy is the company that is bringing you this lesson today, and welcome. Let's get back to it. Before we commence, I want to give you a couple of hints. I want to explain the examination structure to you. Your exam is going to be structured into 4 questions. When you write paper 4, it's going to be structured into 4 questions. The other question is going to be bank reconciliation. This is what bank reconciliation looks like. Maximum you can get for this, it's 15 marks. Minimum, it's 12 marks. That's what you can get for bank reconciliation. Second question is going to be your correspondent. Who's that now? Is he turning on a mic and making noise? Okay, let me get back to it. She threw me off just a bit. Let me get back. So the second question is going to be correspondent. In your correspondent question, it's either they ask you instructing or instructed. This is the trend that I've noticed with the examiner these days. Last year in 2025, he asked about instructed. If I'm not mistaken, it was instructing. The whole of last year, it was instructing correspondent. In March, it was instructing. In December, it was instructing. This year, fingers crossed, it's instructed in March and it's instructed again in August. Fingers crossed. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but most likely that's what the examiner will do. Third question is going to be your theory. Your theory is usually 10 marks. This time around, the examiner made it 12 marks. The highest that I have seen the examiner go around 20 marks. That is not usually. Usually it doesn't say 20 marks. It's usually just 10 marks for your theory. Question number 4, it's obviously conveyancing. Conveyancing carries a lot of marks. Minimum the examiner can give you is 35 marks. Most likely it's going to be 40 marks. 47, he was just throwing you a bone. This is most unlikely thing to happen, but it happened. But usually it's between 35 marks to 40 marks. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be your examination. What the examiner is going to ask you now in August is not going to be different from what he has been asking you throughout the previous years. The examiner who sets the bookkeeping examination always asks you the same thing every single year, ladies and gentlemen. The principles are always the same. That is what I'm saying to you. So if you're going to fail this exam now in August, just know that you did not understand the principles. You did not understand how you receive money. You did not understand how an attorney makes money, and that is by fees. Before I get into the memorandum itself, I just wanted to ask from the audience, Do we have something that we want to ask? Something that we need to emphasize as I'm doing correction for this memorandum? If you just feel like you want to say something that you can add value to this lesson, please feel free. I'm giving you like 5 minutes before we actually do the paper, just to throw in your hat in the ring and say something about the exams. What do you expect? What have you noticed? Anyone?
Hi, Mike.
Yes.
I mean, like you've said, the trend has been correspondence, like instructed or instructing. I obviously struggle there. I'm not gonna lie. I think in March also there was conveyancing, so I'm not sure if conveyancing is gonna come up again this time around. When you explain something, or when I've attended like other, lectures from other teachers, I understand, when they explaining everything, but when I have to do it myself, that's when I struggle, honestly. I guess maybe I'm not practicing enough. That's
Not
my
enough.
problem. Yeah.
Not enough at all. If it's still giving you a run around, because just need, let me give you the best tip for you. The tip is not to study as many conveyancing question paper as possible. No, that is not how you approach it. The best way is to choose one question paper, put in all your energy to that paper to understand every single thing. The rest shall fall into place, because they're going to ask you the same thing every single year. Master one. Choose one question paper and master it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
From now onwards until you mastered conveyancing, just choose from any year, just choose, okay, I'm going to be using the 2023 question paper March to master conveyancing.
Okay.
Repeat it over and over and over again, explaining it to your son, to your younger brother, to your sister, to your wife. Explain to her what is happening to that question paper.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we don't have people of many words today, but that's okay. We're going to start with the question paper. I hope everybody has access to it, because now I'm going to start reading the question paper without showing it here on the screen, because here I'm just going to show the answers only. So hopefully everyone has access to it, because I shared it on all the groups where I shared the link. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let me open my Word this side. Okay, there we go. This is the 2026 March question paper 4. So that is what we are going to be doing today. Please feel free to ask me questions. Just raise your hand as I'm explaining here the answers to the questions. If you find something confusing, just raise your hand. When I'm done writing whatever I'm done, I'm going to point at you and then I'll let you say your piece and then we'll continue. So question number 1, it's your bank reconciliation. The way that I like to do it this way. I just come here and draw my tables. Let me quickly draw them. There we go. DR, CR. This ones, they represent debit side and credit side. So there I have drafted my tables. So for question number 1, we only need 2. We need our supplementary cash book and our bank reconciliation statement. There we go. In order for us to do the bank reconciliation. We haven't reached this portion in class, but I just want to explain it to some of you. Maybe you will learn something new from what you are already using to study. So let's go ahead and read the question. The question says, your business cash book for July 2025 reflects an overdrawn unfavorable balance of 239,420. Now, the balance that is given there for the business cash book, it's unfavorable. We're going to have to use it on supplementary cash book because the supplementary cash book goes hand in hand with the bank, the business cash book. I mean, the business cash book and the supplementary cash book, they go hand in hand. So if the balance is unfavorable, it's going to come this side. Unfavorable balance. We're going to write it here as 239,420. There we go. Then let's read the question further. Your business bank balance as at 31 July 2025 reflects an overdrawn unfavorable balance of 203,835. That one goes hand in hand with the bank reconciliation statement and it's unfavorable. It has to be debited. So that balance will come this side. 203,835. To further explain bank reconciliation better, I'm going to do this. For the supplementary cash book, anything that is positive goes to the debit side. Anything that is negative goes to the credit side. So this is a minus here. For the bank reconciliation, anything that is negative goes to the debit side. And anything that is positive goes to the credit side. This side here, positive. Like that. That is why the unfavorable balance on the supplementary cash book, it's credited. On the bank reconciliation, unfavorable balance, it's debited. Susan, I see your hand is up. What is your question?
Good evening, Mike. So I just wanted to double check on your WhatsApp. You mentioned we were doing this paper, but question 4. Are we doing the whole paper?
I did not say we are doing question 4 only. I said we are doing the whole question paper.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, let's continue. So we have read the balances. Let's read the answers now. In the business cash book and the business bank statement, reveal the following. So the comparison between these two books, they reveal the following. Number 1, interest on the overdraft of 2.5 does not appear in the business cash book. Okay, for number 1, the interest on the overdraft of 2,500 does not appear in the cash book. It means that it should appear on the supplementary. Now we need to understand, is the interest positive or negative? The interest on the overdraft, meaning that it's a negative interest because it's charged on the overdraft amount, which is already negative, which means the interest itself, it's an overdraft. And overdraft means negative, ladies and gentlemen. So the 2,500 goes on the credit side of the supplementary. Number 2, a direct deposit of 46,000 from client Mr. J. Smith appears in the business bank statement only. Again,
sorry, Mike.
Please, no interruptions. Raise your hand when you have something. Don't just speak.
Okay. So sorry. Since I'm here, man, are you going fast? Please, can you just try slow down?
You need to raise your hand and ask a question if, okay, you just want me to go slow. Remember, I told you to study this beforehand, so we can't go slow because if we go slow, we won't finish. You're going to get tired before we get to the end. So the class is being recorded. I'll try to go a little bit slow, but not that slow. Okay, number 2. A direct deposit of 46,000 from client Mr. J. Smith appears in the bank statement only. So if the amount is only appearing on the bank statement, it means that it's missing in the supplementary cash book. And since this is a direct deposit, it's a positive amount. So we are going to record it on the supplementary cash book on the debit side as deposit. Mr. J. Smith, which is going to be 46,000. There we go. That is number 2. The reason why we are recording it on the debit side of the supplementary is because it's already there on the bank reconciliation statement. It's only missing on the cash book, and it's positive because it's a deposit. Let's move on. Number 3, a debit order in favor of West Bank and ProfMed for 10,100 and 12,575 respectively appear in the business bank statement and not in the business cash book. Again, for number 3, we have a transaction that is also missing in the supplementary cash book, which has to go to the supplementary cash book. And it's 2 transactions. There are 2 debit orders. There is one from West Bank and there is one from ProfMed. So we are going to record that on the credit side of the supplementary cash book. So debit order, West Bank. Here we are going to write the 10,100. Debit order, ProfMed, that was 12,575. That is how you record that. Before we go any further, do we have any questions so far? Anyone who has a question, raise your hand. Ask if you need clarity on something. I will explain. Going once. No questions. Don't worry. I'm going to upload the document. This one I'm giving to everyone for free. I'm going to upload the document. I'm also going to upload the recordings so that when you have studied on your own, you can be able to correct yourself. Because I know most of you probably didn't get enough time to study the question paper on your own, but I will do you this one favor. Let's continue. Number 4, the bank in error credited the business bank account with a trust deposit of 25,000. Now, when a bank makes errors, that is called a bank error, and all bank errors are recorded on the bank reconciliation statement. So that is exactly where we are going to record the error of 25,000. And this error, it was a deposit error since it's credited. And they also mentioned that. So since all the deposits for the bank statement, for reconciliation statements are credited, when it's an error, you have to debit. So we are going to debit that error that was made by the bank. Trust deposit error. And we write it here on the debit side as 25,000. There we go. Number 5, the bank inadvertently debited the business bank account with an adjustment of 5,000. This is another error, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5. And now the error, it's a payment error. Because when they say it's debited, it means that it's a payment error. It happened here on the debit side. So when we correct that error, we go to the credit side now. I'm going to say bank inadvertently I put it here so that when you study, you can see exactly which amount I'm talking about. The 5,000 will go on the credit side of the bank reconciliation. Number 6, an EFT deposit of 17,250 from client Miss V. Biela has been incorrectly entered in the business cash book as 17,520. Now, this is another form of an error, but for this one here, it's not a bank error. This is what we call a firm error. It's an error that happens inside your law firm. So once this type of error occurs, you have to determine, is it a deposit error or a payment error? Number 6, it's a deposit error because it says that an EFT deposit from your client. So since it's a deposit error, we do it a little bit different from how we deal with bank errors. In firm errors, if it's a deposit error, we are going to debit the correct amount. EFT deposit error, we are going to debit the correct amount. So we look at the question and see, is it the 17,250 or the 17,520 that is correct? So the 17,250 is the correct one. So the 17,250 will be debited because it is the correct amount. The 17,520 is the incorrect amount and it has to be credited. EFT deposit error. The incorrect amount has to be credited, which is going to be the 17,520. That is the incorrect amount. Number 7, a deposit from client Mr. P. Sharpe for 6,900 appears. Oh, there's a hand. Before we continue. Yes, I like hands because I just don't want to speak alone. Yes, you can ask your question. Let interrupt me. Yes.
Hi, Mike. I just wanna find out, will I be penalized if I use a narration correct deposit and incorrect deposit?
No. When it comes to the board exams, don't worry about narrations. The only narrations you should worry about is the heading of the book. The rest that you have to write inside here, it does not matter. The examiner is looking at numbers. Imagine how many narrations the examiner has to look at. When he marks, he's just going to be looking at the credit side. Do you have 239,420? Oh, yes, there it is. Correct.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yes. Aisha?
Hi, Mike. Sorry, I wanted to find out because I've done this before and I don't know if it's correct, but instead of saying the method that you used of EFT deposit error on the debit side and on the credit side, if I had just put the amount, the difference, like 270, if I had just put that as the correct amount, would that be marked wrong?
I've seen it being done in other memorandums before, so I don't think it would be wrong. I've seen it in other memorandums. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, yes. All right. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, let's continue. That was, we were coming to number 7. A deposit from client Mr. P. Sharpe for 6,900 appears in the business cash book only. Now here we have a transaction that already is there on the cash book. We just need to show it on the bank statement. So it says that a deposit from client Mr. Sharpe for 6,900. So since it's a deposit, we are going to put it on the credit side. Since it's a deposit, we are going to put it here on the credit side. We are going to say deposit Mr. Sharpe. That was a deposit of 6,900. There we go. Number 8, an EFT to eThekwini municipality of 3,450 has been incorrectly entered in the business cash book as 354,000. This is another firm error, and firm errors are dealt with under the supplementary cash book. And this type of error here, it's a payment error. That's what we call it, a payment error. There was an error in making payments. And when you correct a payment error, you're going to credit the right amount. EFT. I'm just going to say EFT eThekwini error. And I'm going to credit the correct amount. The correct amount for this one is 3,450. This was no error. In real life, this would be people trying to scam the government. Okay. So EFT eThekwini error 3,450 is the correct amount. The incorrect amount will be debited. EFT eThekwini error 354,000. There we go. That is the error for number 8. Number 9, an EFT payment made to ABC printers for 2,300 late in the evening of 31 July 2025 does not appear in the business bank statement. So there's an EFT payment made to ABC printers for 2,300 late in the evening of 31 July 2025, which does not appear in the business bank statement. So this one here, it does not appear here. So we're gonna go back to the business bank statement here, and this is an EFT payment. So this was a payment, it's going to be debited because payments are debited on the bank reconciliation account. So we are going to say EFT payment ABC printers. Printers. We're going to record it here on the debit side, put in the amount of 2,300. There we go. That was number 9. Number 10, bank service charge of 460 does not appear in the business cash book. This one will be recorded on the credit side of the supplementary cash book because it's a payment and it's missing there. Bank charge 460 will be recorded here. Now, I have answered from number 1 up to number 10. I want to hear if you guys have questions before I proceed to do the balancing of these books. Anyone who has a dispute saying, well, no, Mike, what you wrote there is incorrect, and here is my reasoning, that is welcome because we are not all masters. Even when I wrote this paper myself, I only got 91 because I did not study theory. So I did not know everything. So if you feel like you have a dispute, please come forth. Ask. Tabo, yes.
Just to confirm, bank recon, so it debit, it's always minus, and then the credit is always a plus all the time.
Not always, because look at it, Mr. Tabo. For the supplementary, the debit side is the positive side, the credit side is the negative, right?
Okay.
But for the bank, the debit side is the negative, the credit is the positive.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's always like this for the bank and it's always like this for the supplementary.
Okay, it doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Another question? Dispute. I like disputes more because we learn. I learn also from you, you learn from me. Do you have anything that you want to dispute that, oh, me, I wrote it this way. I feel like your answer is incorrect. That is also welcome because I don't know everything. Like I said, yes. Molibong. Molibong Wing. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but yes.
Don't butcher my name. Hi, sorry, Mike. Okay. Just a quick one on the EFT eThekwini error. Would I be wrong if I minus that the 354 from the error?
Somebody already asked this question. I think it was Aisha, and I told her that I've seen some memorandums do it. So
Okay.
I don't think there's a problem if you understand it.
Okay.
Yes. Any other question? Tawa, you raising your hand?
I'm sorry. No, no, no. Let me get rid of it. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's close the books now. This is the last step of bank reconciliation. You are going to close your books. How do you close them? You close them by doing the following. You are going to compare the debit side and the credit side. When added together, which side gives us a bigger amount? That's what you need to ask yourself. Like, is it the debit side that if I add 46,000, 17,000, and 354,000, it's going to give me a greater amount, or this side is going to give me a greater amount? For me personally, I think it's going to be the debit side because the debit side already has 354. So I'm going to say it's the debit side that is greater. So I'm going to calculate the total of the debit side because I feel like it's the greater one because it has like bigger amounts. So I'm going to add it together. I'm going to open my calculator. There it is. I'm going to say 46,000 plus 17,250 plus 354,000. That is going to give me 417,250. The total that I got from the bigger side, I'm going to use it as a total for both sides. So I'm going to take the 417,000 as the total for both sides. So it's going to be 417,250. And I know that this side is less than this because this side is greater, this side is less. So the difference is called the balance carried forward. And I need to calculate the difference to see how much the difference is. To calculate the difference, I'm going to say the total 417,250. I'm going to minus all these amounts from this amount. Let me go ahead and do that. Minus 239,420 minus 2,500 minus 10,100 minus 12,575 minus 17,520 minus 3,450 minus 460. It's going to be 131,225. There we go. That is how you close the account. You have your balance carried forward. The difference is 131,225. We are done with the first portion. We are also going to do the same for the bank reconciliation here. We are going to compare the debit side and the credit side. Which side appears to have a bigger amount when added together? That is the debit side because there is, yeah, obviously we can see. So we are going to add up the total for this side. We're going to say 203,835 plus 25,000 plus 2,300. That will give you a total of 231,135. Then on the credit side here, we are going to put in the same total as well. Total 231,135. Then we're going to come here, have our balance carried forward. Our balance carried forward, we are going to take the total minus these two. So we are going to say minus 5,000 minus 6,900. That is going to give us 219,235. That is going to be our total there. And just like that, we would be done with our bank reconciliation question. Now, there's something about this question that I have to tell you. As we can see, usually in the board exam, the final answer, the balance carried forward here and the balance carried forward down here, they always balance each other out. It's always the same amount. But somehow for this question, it does not balance. I feel like it was intentional or this was the mistake. You see this 354,000. I feel like it's the one that was a mistake because the difference between 354,000 and 3,450 is too large. It's a big difference. I feel like maybe the examiner made a mistake on that part, but it does not balance. So in a nutshell, we are going to say this is how it should look at the end. Questions, opinions, before we proceed to the next question? Let's hear from the audience. Anything, just add something, guys. When you ask questions, it makes me comment more. It makes me reveal more for you. Yes, Vicky.
Hi, Mike. Hi, everyone. Can you please repeat for me how you found the balance carried forward for the supplementary cash book?
Okay, let me explain it with this one so that you will understand it better because this one appears to be a little bit bigger, but let me use the smaller one because it's the same. Ne? So this is how you do it. Once you have entered all the amounts, compare the debit side and the credit side. Which one is bigger? Obviously, this one is going to be greater because there's 200,000 and this one only had 5,000 and 6,900. So we are going to add up all this 200,000, this 25,000, this 2,300. It gives us this total here. Then we carry this total to the other side. It's the same total as you can see, but we know that this side does not equal to this amount. So in order for this side to be equal to this amount, we are going to say the total minus these two amounts. 2,331,135 minus 5,000 minus 6,900. It gives you the 219,235 rand. Vicky, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I still I don't understand why it's so high. Like why it's 131,000 for the supplementary cash book. Can you please show me how you got the 131,225?
The reason why it's so high. Oh, I was saying, oh, it's the same. It's the same way that I taught you from down here. It was 417,250 minus this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount, this amount. It gives you this amount.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you so much.
Yes. After minusing all these amounts there that are there, it gave us this 131 something. Yes. Yes, Jackie.
How are you?
Yes. You have a
Yeah,
question?
yes. Look, I want to check if I understand this correctly. Ne?
Mhm.
My question is, or my comment is on point number 8, the EFT for eThekwini municipality. So initially, when we made this,
Okay, I think it disappeared. I think his network maybe has a problem. Did anyone else had a question? Yes, Tao.
It's just number 10 for me. Ne? So had the bank service charge appeared in the business sketchbook, you would record it on the debit side
If it had appeared on the,
in the business sketchbook. Because it says it does not appear, so we've recorded it on the credit side.
yes, the reason why we have recorded it on the credit side is because the bank charges will always be missing from the supplementary cash book. The bank will never make a mistake of not charging you bank charges, and it would be missing here. Bank charges will never be missing here.
Okay.
Has the bank ever skipped charging you?
No.
That's how they make their money. So why would they play like that?
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Jackie is back. Please finish your question.
Thank you so much. I was saying, initially when we made this wrong payment of 354 in our cash book, we credited this amount, the 354 initially.
Yes.
And then now that we are correcting it, so we're taking back this 354 into our bank account on the debit side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're putting the correct amount, the 3450.
Mm-hmm.
So basically we're taking back the money that was wrongly paid back into our bank account. Am I correct to say that?
That is exactly what it is.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Yes, Tsepo?
Hi, Mike. I want to understand if your bank account does not balance, will you lose a mark?
No.
That?
In the case like this one, I feel like the examiner wanted it not to balance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Tabo?
Sorry, man. It's a mistake. Sorry.
Yes, you must always remember to put down your hand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like we have cleared everything from question 1. We can now proceed to question 2. No more questions? Is there anyone else with a question? Or should we move on? These are free marks, ladies and gentlemen. Bank reconciliation, it's free marks. Everyone should get this 15 marks. It's very easy to get it. Okay. Question 2. Before I proceed to question 2, since some people joined us late, I just want to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, this document will be uploaded. The recording will be uploaded. If you want to access them for free, you should go to our and like our Facebook page. I just want to show it to you right now here on the screen so that you know which page it is and which one you should go like. This is our page right there. It's Simplified Academy and Co. Just go and follow and like this page. You will get some other memorandums. For example, here is another one, Paper 4 Memorandum 2024 March and 2024 August question 2, Instructed Correspondent. So yes, just go to that page. You'll get a couple of free videos that you can use to study and pass this paper because it's very simple. And those who don't know me, there is Mike right there. That is Mike there, the guy smiling there. Yes. Let's proceed with question number 2. Okay. So question number 2. You send the following statement to your correspondent, instructing correspondent. By just reading that statement alone, I already know what type of a correspondent this is. Can anyone tell me how I know that? What type of a correspondent is this, and how do you know? Raise your hand if you know. I'm not going to point at my students. I want to point at someone who is not my student. I'm going to point at a name that is not familiar to me because I want someone to answer from outside, not from my class. Please, if you're from my class, put down your hands. I want to see someone from outside my class to answer this question, Uri. For you personally, in your own way, how do you know? Harriet, please tell us. Harriet, turn on your mic. Yes. Okay.
You identify by use and the following statement. So
And
this
which,
is
yeah.
correspondence.
Can you repeat that?
So you identify the type of correspondent by using the following statement. So we are dealing with instructed correspondence.
Thank you. That is correct. What Harriet just said there is correct. The word send shows us that we are dealing with the instructed correspondent, because in a relationship between the instructed and the instructing, the instructed always sends the statement of account to the instructing. The instructing only works with a statement of account. So the instructed has to send it. So if you see send, it's instructed in the board exams. It's instructed correspondent. If you see receive, it's instructing correspondent. And these two things are completely different, ladies and gentlemen. Let me also further say send statement of account. That is instructed, receive statement of account. That is instructing. So this is how you will know from today onwards going further. If you see the words send statement of account, it's instructed correspondent. If you see receive statement of account, it's instructing correspondent. The way you answer these questions is completely different, ladies and gentlemen. If it's instructed and you answer like instructing, you fail the whole question, you get 0. If it's instructing and you answer like instructed, you get 0 as well. So there's no middle way. You have to know or not know. So this question here that we're dealing with today, it's the sending part. So we are going to do the instructed. So let me read the question. The question says, you send the following statement to your correspondent, instructing correspondent, who instructed you to act on behalf of his client, Bella, in respect of an insurance litigation matter. Okay, Bella versus No Hassle Insurance Company, then we have those transactions. When it comes to instructed correspondent with a statement of account, what the examiner exactly wants from you is for you to reverse. You need to reverse these transactions back to the statement of account. Before we start reversing, I want to show the question paper so that we can dissect it first, because it's very, very important for us to dissect the question paper before we start answering that question. Let me just open the question paper on your screens so that we can start by talking about it. There we go. There is our statement of account for that question. So ladies and gentlemen, before we start answering, there are 4 things that you need to decide on. You need to tell me number 1, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. You need to tell me which one is a disbursement, which one is a fee, which one is it's money collected, which one is an allowance. So you're going to decide between these 4 things. Which one is an allowance, which one is a fee, which one is a disbursement, and which one is that. Okay, we have number 1. Our fees, 118,000. What is that? Raise your hand if you know. Our fees, 118,000. Between the 4 categories, is it a disbursement? Is it a fee? Is it a money collected? Is it the 4th thing? Yes, Fulani?
Hi, Mike. That is our fee.
And the VAT under it?
It's 17,700.
Yes, I want you to explain why is it there?
Okay, so that is the fee that we're going to charge. So we're going to create a fee journal for that, and then the ledgers for the VAT as well. And then the allowance will be the money on the right-hand side, which would be the 23,600, and the expanded allowance for the VAT would be 3,540.
That is correct. So number 1 goes hand in hand with number 2. Our fee and VAT are going together because the VAT is 15% of 118. This year at the end is the allowance for the fee. The 23,600 is the allowance of the 118,000, and the 3,440 is the allowance of 17,700. Paid forensic expert. What is that? that a disbursement? Is that a fee? Is that money collected? Yes, Sindana?
That is a disbursement.
That is indeed a disbursement because it's just found in the middle category. That is a disbursement. Thank you. Number 4, paid sheriff. Yes, so it's number 4, the paid sheriff. What is that?
It's a disbursement.
That is also a disbursement. Thank you. Payment received from No Hustle Insurance Co. of 2 million. What is that? Payment received from No Hustle Insurance Co. What is that? Yes, Unati?
I had put my hand down, but I think it's fees. Sure.
Okay, Unati said it's fee. Tebuho, help her.
It's money collected. It's allowance.
That is money collected, not allowance. It's just money collected. Because you have to decide between the 4 categories. This year, it's money collected. This right here, there's 2 million. So it's money collected. Okay. This one I'm just going to ask out of interest sake. But the EFT to you, what is that? Anyone who can tell us exactly what that is, precisely what it is, because this one is a bit special. You have to explain it well because it's special. It's very important. Yes, Nkosazana?
Not the money that you pay yourself.
No.
Refund, sorry. Refund to the correspondent, the instructing attorney.
Correct. The EFT to you, it's the refund to the instructing correspondent. Remember, in this question here, we are dealing with the instructed. The EFT to you, it's to the instructing correspondent. It's his refund. Thank you for that. Okay, now that we have dissected this question here, I'm going to answer it in the Word document. Before I do that, do we have anyone with a question? Does anyone need something, clarity on something, so that I can just quickly tell you?
Yes, Mike, I also want to check that the columns on the right, what are those figures?
You mean the 23,600?
Yes, all that. Yeah, I was just didn't want to disturb during the session, but what are those for? No,
Shulani, tell her, because you're the one who explained what they are.
Money collected allowance.
Okay, so Nkosazana, when you look at the left-hand side, if we were doing a fee journal, that would be the main fee that we are charging as an instructed attorney together with the 17,000. So the allowance that we are paying the other attorney, which is the instructing attorney, is on the right-hand side. So if we had headings on that table, on the left-hand side, on the
Yes, continue, Shulani. Did you turn on your TV by mistake or what? We can't hear you anymore, Shulani.
Oh, okay. You can hear me now, ne?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying that if we had headings on top of this table, on the first table it will be details, and then the center table it will be fees and disbursements, and then the last table it will be allowance and money received or money collected.
Thank you so much.
So in a nutshell, the 26,000, the 23,600, and the 3,450, these are allowance. The 2 million, it's money collected. I see a hand. I don't want to say names that I will be not able to pronounce. Yes, you can answer. The one with the name that starts with an X. Say your name first before you answer.
It's advice. I just want
No, that's not my name, not that one.
that one, it's Shitsunzu or Skumbuzo, something like that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Yeah, so just want a clarity with regard to EFT to you. Isn't it a remaining balance after paying myself as instructed and paying sheriff and forensic? Is it a remaining balance from the 2 million?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yes, and it's still a refund because the money that I have not used, I have to give it back to the owner.
Oh, okay.
Yes, both answers are correct. Yes, you are right. Okay. Yes, Amanda?
Good evening. I would like to ask, in terms of the difference, when it comes to this question, if we see the word send, I just need to clarity whether I'm understanding it correctly. If I see the word send, it means that I am the instructed attorney, and then the word receive, meaning that I'm the one who gave the instructions.
Correct. You're the instructing.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Now, another interesting question that I want to ask from the audience. Can someone tell me, I know it's not given, but what is the percentage of the allowance for this question? What did the instructed agree to share with the instructing? What is our percentage of the allowance for this question? Because it was not given, you had to figure it out on your own. Sorry. The person who's going to answer this question has to tell us, how did they know? So let me just, okay. Mulokadi, be the one.
It's 20%.
And how did you figure that out?
I took fees, which is 118,000. I multiplied by 20, then it gave me, by 20%, it gave me 23,600.
That is correct. Actually, she is right. It's going to be 20% because 23,600 is 20% of 118,000. 3,550 is 20% of 17,700. That is how she figured out that the allowance that we were given for this question is 20%. So, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the examiner will not give you these things. Sometimes you have to calculate and figure it out on your own. The examiner likes three. There are three sharing of fees that he likes in the exam. So please, before you try anything else, try the first three. The first one, it might always be 1/3. Calculate if this is 1/3 of this. That is the first scale that he likes. The second scale that he likes, it's 20%. He likes it very much. The third one and final, it's 10%. These three scales are the ones that the examiner likes using. 20%, 10%, and 1/3, which is 33.33%. Now I think I'm ready to answer the question on the paper. If there's no question, any other question before I go answer the questions on the Word document? No questions. Excellent. Let's go ahead and answer the questions on the question paper. That is going to be your question number 2. Let's go ahead and answer question number 2. Okay, let's go ahead and start. We are going to start with the fee of 118,000. We are going to draft our fee journal here. There we go, fee journal. Our fee journal looks like this. Details, DR, CR. We are going to start with the correspondent, business, followed by the fee, then the VAT. The reason for this fee here, they just said our fees. They didn't really tell us what the fees were structured. They just said our fees. We know that the correspondent business is not given, but we are given the amount of the fee. The fee is 11800. And we are also given the amount of the VAT, which is 17,700. These two amounts we are given, the fee we are given 11800, the VAT 17,700. We are also, this one here, the correspondent business, we need to calculate is just adding these two together. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add those two amounts, 11800 plus 17,700. That is going to give you 135,700, which is the answer for that one. Since we are dealing with the instructed correspondent, we need to extend our fee journal to show the allowance. We start with the fee, followed by the VAT, and then the correspondent business. The reason for the extension is going to be called allowance. Now, we already agree back in the question paper that they agreed to share the fees on a 20% scale. And we already have the scales shown here because we already know that 20% of 118,000 is the 23,600. It's already calculated for us. It's the 23,600. And we already know 20% of 17,700, it's 3,450. It's already calculated for us. The only thing that we have to do is go on the credit side and add up these amounts and get an amount here. So I'm going to do that. 23,600 plus 3,450 equals to 27,050. And there is your fee journal. That is how you extend the fee journal whenever you are dealing with the instructed correspondent. You don't end up here because usually when we do our fees, we stop here. But when it's instructed, we go a step further to show the allowance. And then double entry for that question, I'm going to have my three ledgers. I'm going to start with the correspondent business ledger. In my correspondent business ledger, I am going to write the correspondent business on the debit side, which is fee plus VAT, the 135,000, 135,700, and I show the allowance on the credit side, allowance which is the 27,050. Then the next one is going to be a fee ledger. In my fee ledger, I am going to credit the fee, which is 118,000. And then the allowance on the debit side, which is going to be the 23,600. Then the VAT, I'm going to have myself the VAT output ledger, which I'm going to credit the VAT of 17,700, and the allowance for that is going to be 3,450. Yes, I see hands. Go ahead. Let's start with yes.
Hi, Mike. I think you made a mistake where you said 23,600 plus 3,540 is 27,140, not 27,050.
Okay.
I think by the correspondent business.
Okay, let me just quickly do that. 23,600 plus 3,450. Where did I make the mistake?
By the side of the correspondent business, you said 27,050. It's supposed to say 27,1040.
The VAT is supposed to be
Mike,
3540, not
yes, the
34.
VAT was 3540.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
That
yes.
was the
Yeah.
only mistake.
Oh, yeah. I see now because I was thinking, or maybe it was the calculations. Yes, I misplaced the 5. Yes, thank you for that. Yes, let me just change that because I misplaced the 5. Thank you for that. Let me just also correct this one here. Yes. 23,600 plus 3,440. Okay. Plus 23,600. There we go. 140. Like that, no?
Yes, Mike.
Yes, thank you for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, since this is like the only fee for this question here, is this clear? Anyone with a question? Anyone who needs clarity on something, why we did what we did where? Please feel free. Okay, no question, let's proceed. The following one said, paid forensic expert 23,000. For that one, we're going to use the BCB. There is our BCB, the business cash book. We are going to pay it from the credit side. Paid forensic expert 23,000. On the credit side of the BCB, then we're going to record it here on the debit side. Pay forensic expert. How much? 23,000 here for double entry. This is double entry. It started on the, sorry, it started on the BCB on the credit side here, paid forensic expert. Then it went to the debit side with the corresponding business ledger. Can somebody tell me why for this disbursement, why did we use the BCB instead of the TCB? Anyone? Yes, Liz?
Because we're not holding any money for clients. Client did not give us money, so we're paying from basically our own pockets.
That is correct. The reason why we paid the forensic expert from the BCB is because we are using our own money because the client did not give us any deposit. Thank you for that. Okay, let's continue. Paid sheriff. We are also going to record it on the BCB as well. Paid sheriff on the credit side of the BCB. We are going to pay the sheriff 7,575. Then we're going to do double entry, same here. Paid sheriff 7,575. Then we go onwards. Payment received from No Hustle Insurance Co. We are going to use the TCB now for that transaction. We are going to have our TCB here, the trust cash book. We are going to have it here, and we are going to receive that money. Payment received. No Hustle. Let me not say that. Let me just say payment received because it's too long. I'm just gonna say payment received of 2 million there from No Hustle. Then for double entry, we are going to use the correspondent trust ledger on the credit side. Payment received 2 million. Now, can somebody tell me why did we receive this money in the TCB? And why did we, yeah, just tell me that. Why did we receive this money in the TCB? Anyone? Why did we receive the 2 million in the TCB? Yes, Michael?
Yes, Mike, because it is the client's money.
Correct. It's because we are receiving that money on behalf of the client. When we receive monies on behalf of the client, either from the client or from third party, we record that money in the TCB. There we go. And for this case, our client is the correspondent. There we go. Correspondent trust ledger. Okay, we are done. We are done with like whatever we needed to do. Now, before we do the EFT, we have to calculate how much we have to pay ourselves, because we need to pay ourselves first in order for us to know how the EFT came to be. So first, let's determine how much we are owed. And in order for you to know how much you need to pay yourself, you use the correspondent business ledger. Debit side minus credit side. So that is exactly what I'm going to do now. 135,700 plus 23,000 plus 7,507. Just correct this one. 575 minus everything that is on the credit side. 27. Okay, this one we changed it. Let me just change it quickly because I forgot to change it. This allowance here. So this one. So 27,140. That's gonna give you 139,135. That is how much the client owes you. So I'm going to repeat how I calculated that. You add all the amounts that are on the debit side, all these amounts, you minus the one on the credit side here, then it gives you 139,135. Then you're going to pay yourself. When you pay yourself, you start from the TCB, pay yourself 139,135. 139,135. There we go. On the credit side of the TCB, then you go to the BCB, you debit that amount, pay yourself, because you are paying yourself 139,135. Then you trigger the transfer journal. When you transfer money from the TCB to the BCB, you end up triggering the transfer journal. So let me just quickly draft the transfer journal. There we go. Details, DR, CR. Then you're going to start with the correspondent trust, followed by the correspondent business. And the reason for this is always value transfer. There we go. And you write that amount that you paid yourself, 139, 135, 139, 135. Then you're going to do double entry for these two entries here. You need to look for the correspondent trust. There it is on the debit side. Value transfer 139, 135. Then for the business, you need to look for the correspondent business on the credit side. There it is. Value transfer 139, 135. There we go. Excellent. Final step. Account is to the correspondent, which means refund the correspondent. And how do you know how much you need to refund the correspondent? I know the amount is already given there, 1,868,65. It's already given, but how do you calculate it? The way that you calculate it, you are going to say the payment that you received from third party minus the money that you paid yourself. So let's calculate that quickly to see if it's going to give us the same amount. 2 million minus 139, 135. There we go. So 2 million minus 139, 135 gives us an EFT to you, which is going to be 1,860,86. 0.65 here, and then for double entry, it comes here. EFT to you. One 860,865. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this question. Very simple, very easy, and straightforward. Questions? Do we have any questions in the house? If you have a question, you need to understand something, please let us know so that we can answer you, and your studying should be smooth from there. So if you have a question, feel free to ask. This was question number 2. I'm waiting. Yes, Tebuko?
Sorry, I can go back a little bit to ETF to you. How did you get that?
EFT to you, this amount here. It's 2 million minus 139,000, 135,000. So the money you paid yourself minus the money you received. And also, if you look at the statement on question number 2, it's there. EFT to you, 1,860,865.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Any other question? Okay, since you guys don't have a question for me, I have a question for you. How are you finding this paper so far? Was it difficult as it seems, or was it easy? Anyone, throw your hat in the ring. Is this difficult? Are you seeing the light, or it's still complicated? Yes, Kulani.
Hi, Mike. My question, I will respond with a question to ask if there's ever been such an easier paper in the board exams, in the history itself, Nje, the past 5 years. Because I felt like they were just trying to clear us before so that they don't get another petition.
True. I also agree with you, because this question was straightforward. But there has been an easier question paper. This is not the easiest one, if I have to say. There was the easiest one. Do you remember that question paper we once did in class wherein we were dealing with, like, for conveyancing, there was only investments?
Yes.
That was the easiest paper, because you could just get 40 marks from investments. Oral, you get an oral. By just knowing investments, you get an oral. That question paper was the easiest one in the history of board exams. Okay, if there is no other question, we will move on to the next one. To tell you the truth, I hate theory. So for this theory question here, we're just going to talk about it. I'm not going to write it down. Me personally, I hate theory. Yo, I don't like it at all. So the next question is theory. Question number 3. What are the duties and obligations placed on accountable institutions in terms of the Financial Intelligence Center? Does anyone know? What does FICA or FIC do? What do they require from you as a law firm? What do they require from the bank? What are the duties? Anyone who knows? On top of your head, I have one that I can say, so no one can say it. Let me not say it. Let's hear. Does anyone know? What is the duty that is placed on accountable institutions in terms of the financial center? Yes, Tabo?
I mean, it's pretty much compliance.
It is compliance, but if you just write compliance, you will not get the marks.
Yeah, we'll have to elaborate.
Yes, you have to mention them because they are very clear. Yes, Manga?
Thanks, Mike. Therefore, the duty to implement internal administrative system, Secondly, I think they've got the duty to report suspicious transactions. Also, they've got the duty to implement internal rules. And last but not least, I think they've got the duty to appoint a compliance officer. Thank you.
Okay. So, yes. 3.2. Yes, Susan.
Hi, Mike. Just to add on to that, one of the important things is that KYC, know your customer, person depositing money. I think you just need to do a background check on him.
Things like their address, bank accounts. Yes. In terms of Section 90 of the Legal Practice Act number 28 of 2014, when may the High Court, on application made by the Legal Practice Council or by any person having an interest in the trust account of the legal practitioner, appoint a curator bonis to control and administrate the trust account? When can you appoint the curator bonis to control and administer the trust account? I already have a few in my head. 2 already, they just come to me naturally because you just know that it has to be like that. Yes, advice?
I think maybe when the legal practitioner dies.
That is another one that is correct. Another one? Anyone else? Yes, Susan?
It's when the creator bonus is appointed to manage, control, or wind up any trust account.
When can they be appointed is the question.
When that, obviously, like that lady said, when that person dies.
That is one.
Attorney.
Another one.
Okay.
They are there. Yes, Tabile.
I think when a person becomes insolvent, the legal person should become insolvent, and also when they get struck off from the role.
Excellent. Those 3 are the correct ones. Struck off the role, die, or insolvent. Mashudu has another one to add. Mashudu, do you have another one?
I think also when he becomes incapable of managing the trust or due to mental illness also.
That can also qualify. Yes. List the 4 most common types of journals used by legal practitioners. Yes, Vunolo?
So when you get 16.
Anyone? List 4 common types of journals. Yes, Susan?
Your trust journal, your fee journal, your transfer journal, and your general journal.
Don't turn off your microphone. Just tell us also 3.4.
3.4 is anyone who has a 2.3 million rand turnover in a 12-month period.
Is it that only? Oh, yeah, because it said who must. And what is the other one? Who can volunteer?
Which point is that, Mike?
No, I'm saying for 3.4, we know that the person who must register as a vet vendor, it's if in a financial year you make more than 2.3 million. But who can volunteer to register as a vet vendor?
Oh, sorry, I don't have that answer. Somebody else would have to answer that one.
Yes, Pula. Sindana.
Hi, Mike. Or anyone with a turnover of 50,000 can volunteer to register.
That is correct. Anyone with a turnover of 50,000 can volunteer to register. Thank you for that. And the fact that who must register just changed recently. Please be aware of that it just changed recently to 2.3 million. Before it was just 1 million. Yes, I still see hands. Liz, what's up?
My question was actually on what you just said now. I wanted to ask, because I know this comes up also in paper 3, if you were to mention the previous amount and not the updated one, which is be marked wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
You must keep up with the current affairs. Because remember, the board exams are for testing if you can be an attorney. So yeah, you need to keep up with the trends. Okay, we are done with question number 3. We can see that this question paper is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. It was easy to get 100 for this paper, except maybe the only difficult one here was number 3.1, because this one was a little bit complicated because it's very hard just to say them off by head. Question number 4. What, Unati? Is it not hard? Isn't it 3.1 hard? Like, can you know this things that you have to
No,
do?
it's not about 3.1. It's about getting 100% on this paper. Like, yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shook.
Yeah, it's very easy. Because one of my students from last semester in March got 91 as well. Because I feel like the only thing that could have distracted him was probably 3.1. Because the rest, I feel like it was piece of cake to him. So 3.1 was probably the one that he lost the 4 marks here, and he lost some couple of other marks here, because there are some other things that I do not really emphasize in class because it's very, they don't usually ask it. That's why he got 91. He could have gotten 100. This paper was very simple, ladies and gentlemen. He could have easily gotten 100 here. It's easy to get 100 for this paper, especially with Simplified Academy, because it's in the name, simplified. We do it the easier way. Know a little about a lot. That is our slogan. Know a little about a lot. That is how we do it. Okay, question number 4, ladies and gentlemen. For this question number 4 here, the examiner did 2 things. He wanted you to answer general questions. He also wanted you to do conveyancing. Question number 4 incorporates conveyancing. It also incorporates general questions. So we are going to do both. We will start with the general, then we will move on to conveyancing. Okay, let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take like a 5 minutes break to give you time to think, so that when you come back, you are refreshed and you're able to answer. I'm giving you only 5 minutes until 2012. Yeah, 2012. When the clock strikes 2012, we will be back here to finish off this question. Question number 4. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we are refreshed and we are back and we are ready to finish off the question paper. This is going to be question number 4. We are almost done. Just hold on. We will be done in no time. Okay, question number 4 says, you commence practice for your own account and conclude the under-mentioned transactions. You are registered for VAT. That is very important for this question, the fact that you are registered for VAT. Okay, number 1, you deposit 100,000 into your practice banking account as capital. We are going to deposit that capital there into our bank account, which is the BCB. The BCB is our bank account, so we are going to deposit the capital. Deposit capital 100,000. The person who has their mic on, please turn it off. The one who's flipping through the pages, please turn off your mic. So we have a deposit of 100,000. There it is. For double entry, we are going to have our capital general ledger. On the credit side, deposit capital 100,000. There we go. That was number 1, the depositing of the capital. Number 2, you receive a deposit of 50,000 from client Mr. Tito Mate in respect of his divorce matter. We are going to record the deposit that we received from Mr. Mate on the TCB because that is where we keep the client's money. So deposit Mr. Mate 50,000. And then for double entry, we are going to have Mr. Mate trust ledger, wherein we are going to do double entry on the credit side, deposit Mr. Mate 50,000. There we go. You charge a fee of 2,000. Okay. This question number 2 has a lot of things. First, Mr. Mate deposited 50,000. Now you charge a fee of 2,000. So we are going to draft our fee journal. There it is. Fee journal. Details. DR. CR. Then we're going to start with Mr. Mate here. Mr. Mate. Business. Fee. VAT. And the reason for this here, it's divorce. Because they didn't tell us what the fee was for. I'm just going to say divorce fee. So for the divorce, we charged Mr. Mate 2,000. That is our fee on the credit side of 2,000. We need to calculate 15% of 2,000. So we're going to say 2,000 divided by 100 multiplied by 15 to get 15%. That is going to be 300. 2,000 plus 300, it gives us 2,300, which is Mr. Mate business. Then we're going to do double entry for all of those amounts. We are going to start with Mr. Mate business, wherein in the Mr. Mate business ledger, we are going to debit fee plus VAT, which is 2,300. Then the fee ledger, which is going to be on the credit side, fee 2,000. Then VAT on this one here, VAT output ledger on the credit side here, VAT 300. And that is how you do your fee journal. Let's continue with number 2 because we just did the fee journal for the 2,000. Then the next question says you pay council 5,500. That is a disbursement, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to the TCB. This means we paid the advocate on behalf of Mr. Mate. Pay cancel on the credit side of the TCB, 2,000. Then we are going to debit Mr. Mate, pay cancel, 2,000. There we go. That is how you need to record that pay cancel. You account to Mr. Mate and prepare an accounting statement. So you account to Mr. Mate means that you refund Mr. Mate. When you account to Mr. Mate, it means that you refund him. And in order for you to refund Mr. Mate, it's the money that he deposited minus what you paid the council, minus what you need to pay yourself. Slindo Kuhle, what is your question?
Mike, I did you did an error. You pay cancel 5,500, not 2,000.
Oh yes, thank you for that. Yes, mistake. 5,500. 5,500. Yes, thank you for that, Slindo Kuhle. Yes. Naledi.
Hi, Mike. I was also gonna ask you about those amounts. That's my colleague has just pointed out with the
Okay.
council fee. Yeah, and then also just whilst I'm on the line, like with the fee, the percentage, was it not excluding VAT?
Yes, it was. So what is the problem?
Oh no, because the question here it says inclusive, right? I'm trying to
No,
find.
it does not say any of
It
those.
was
The
it
question
was it
just
was
said
exclusive. Okay.
the question just said you are registered for VAT. So whenever you're dealing with fees, you have to talk about VAT.
Okay.
Yes. It didn't say whether it was VAT inclusive or VAT exclusive. It just said you charged a fee. So if you charge a fee and you are a VAT vendor, you have to talk about VAT.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
Okay. So we have to account to Mr. Tito Mate, and we also need to draft a statement of account for him. So ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to determine how much you need to refund Mr. Mate, it's going to be the money that he deposited minus what the fee you charged minus the disbursement you paid, meaning that it's going to be the 50,000 minus the money that you paid cancel, 5,500, minus the fee, 2,300. Which means that we are going to refund Mr. Mate 42,200. Refund Mr. Mate, or let me say account to Mr. Mate 42,200. There we go. Double entry. Account to Mr. Mate 42,200. Then we are going to draft a statement of account for Mr. Mate. Let me just quickly draft it. Statement of account, Mr. Mate's divorce. So there is my statement of account. Let me just quickly draft it here. Let me remove this top line. But if you are my student, you know what you need to write on this top line here. So we are going to say this one here. We are going to write all the things that we did for Mr. Mate, and we only did about 3 or 4 things for him. The first one was the deposit. Mr. Mate had a deposit. So we're going to say from deposit, Mr. Mate. The deposit that was sent by Mr. Mate was 50,000. Then We paid counsel for Mr. Mate to pay counsel. For Mr. Mate, we paid the counsel 5,500. So these are the two things that we did for Mr. Mate, and also a fee. Sorry, there was also a fee. 2 fees, divorce fee. Yeah, let me say this. Divorce fee. We also charged him a fee for the divorce, which is going to be the 2,000. And the VAT for the fee there is going to be the 300. There we go. So these are the three things that we had to do for Mr. Mate. There was a deposit, there was a pay cancel, there was a divorce fee. Now you need to balance it out. You need to balance by adding the total at the end. You compare which side is greater between the middle and the last. And obviously the last side is going to be greater. So it means the total for both sides is going to be 50 because the greater side is total of 50,000. We know that the middle is not equal to 50,000, and that one is going to be called EFT refund Mr. Mate. So the refund to Mr. Mate is the difference between the 50,000 and these amounts here. So we are going to minus these three amounts from the 50,000 to get the EFT. So 50,000 minus 5,500 minus 2,000 minus 300. That is going to give you 42,200, which is exactly the refund that we calculated above. Account to Mr. Mate, 42,200. Same as in his statement of account, his refund is 42,200. Questions so far? Anyone with a question? Okay, no questions. Let's continue. Number 3. This was only for number 2. Everything that I did so far was for number 2. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 says you pay rental deposit of 5,000 to your landlord. Okay, you pay rental deposit of 5,000 to your landlord. We're gonna go to our BCB, pay rental deposit on the credit side. Pay rental deposit on the credit side. The rental deposit was 5,000. Then we are going to do double entry for the rental deposit. I'm just gonna do it down here, which was rental general ledger. On the credit side, on the debit side, pay rental deposit 5,000. There we go. Done. The question continues on number 3. You further pay your office rental of 5,750, which included VAT at 15%. Now, here comes something interesting. For this one, we have to do something extra. So initially, we are going to pay rent. We're going to pay the rent of the full amount, which is 5,750. But when we do double entry, we have to add an extra book down here. This book is going to be called VAT Input Ledger. This is the book that I was saying that I don't emphasize this much in class because usually the examiner does not ask about it. So when we pay the rent and we have to account for VAT because they told us that there is VAT. So VAT input is introduced. So we have to divide the 5,750. We have to remove the VAT from that amount. And we are going to use the VAT inclusive formula. And we are going to say 5,750 divided by 15 multiplied by 115. It gives us how much our VAT is. Sorry, mistaken formula. That was a mistake. Multiply.
That was your amount, Mike. It's wrong.
That was multiplied by 15 divided by 115. Yes. Sorry, I made a mistake with that. So the 5,740 divided by 15 multiplied by 1. Sorry, I'm doing the same thing again.
It's
Multiplied
50.
by
Sorry, Mike. It's
5,750.
700 and
Mike, it's
700.
wrong.
The
The
amount
initial
is
amount is
5750.
5,750, not 5,740.
Yes. Made a mistake of adding the 40 there. 5,750 multiplied by 15 divided by 115 equals to 750. That is our VAT. So it means here on the VAT input, we're going to say our VAT on the debit side, it's 750. And the rental here, pay rent, it will be the 5,000. So you have to be extra careful when it comes to you paying something on behalf of the business and you are a registered vet vendor and you are paying another vet vendor. You have to separate the rent from the vet. Because remember, when we paid the rent, it was 5,750, but when we do double entry, we separate them. The rent is 5,000, the VAT it's 750. It's called the VAT input. I don't really emphasize this in class because the examiner really ever asks about it, but sometimes he does ask. If you are in my class, those previous recordings, they have it. Those other ones that I had in March, we talked about it. If you go watch the previous lessons, you are bound to come across the principle. Let's continue. Yes, Liz.
I'm so sorry, I completely missed you on the last one. The entry of the pay rent of 5,000. Please just re-explain that.
Okay. When you are paying for rent and it has VAT, because this rent here, it had VAT, you have to separate the rent from the VAT if you are a VAT vendor and you are paying another VAT vendor. So you have to separate it into the rent of 5,000 and the VAT of 750 and write them in separate books. That is what I just explained. Let's continue. Number 4, you pay the LPC subscription of 4025. We are going to use the BCB when we pay the LPC subscription. There it is, pay LPC. Pay the LPC 4025 on the credit side, and you're going to have the general ledger for the LPC here. LPC, general ledger, and you're going to debit, pay LPC, the 4025. There we go, 4025, yes. Number 5, you pay office salaries of 12,500. That is another BCB matter. You're going to go to the BCB, pay salaries. There we go. You're going to pay your salaries on the credit side, 12,500. Then double entry. You're going to have your general ledger for your salaries down here. On the debit side, you are going to say pay salaries 12,500. There we go. Now, from number 6, it's conveyancing. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, conveyancing, I won't be able to do it with you today because I'm feeling tired now. We will continue it some other time. I will give you the time where we are going to repeat this question and we are going to complete the conveyancing part just for that part only. But today, this is where we are going to end. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, before you go, this recording is going to be uploaded with the document. If you want the recording, if you want the document, please go follow our page on Facebook. Let me show it to you. There it is. Follow the page on Facebook, Simplified Academy and Co. This is our page. We are going to upload it here within 30 minutes. It will be uploaded here together with the document. You will find it when you go to this page. Yes, it will be uploaded there. So this is how the question paper is structured, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe just master this one. If you're finding it difficult to study, master this question paper with what we were doing in class today. If you can master just one, I'm telling you, you are going to pass. These things are simple and they are the same every single year. Every single year, the examiner is asking people the same thing, and yet people are still failing. So my advice to you, master one. Choose one question paper, master it. Hopefully it can be this one or it can be any other question paper, but the principles are all the same. Any final word before we knock off?
Thank you so much, Mike.
I just ask with regards to you posting it on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook and you are in your class, are you going to post it, give it to us via email?
No. I will send the link though to the group. This one, since everybody will be having access to it, I won't send it via email. I will send it to the group.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, any final word before I go?